The red dust of Karos 9 covered everything like a thick blanket. The wind blew softly, moving the fine sand across the cracked ground. No plants grew here, no water ran. Only ruins remained. Broken towers, fallen walls, and metal pieces half buried in the earth. This was once a strong human world, long ago. Now it was dead, forgotten by most. Ji-yeon stepped out of the small shuttle. Her boots left deep prints in the dust. She was 28, with short black hair tied back under her helmet. Her eyes were sharp and curious. She wore a simple gray exploration suit, patched in many places. Behind her came her team, 3 people she trusted with her life. Taemin was first. He was tall and thin, always carrying too many tools. He fixed things better than anyone Ji-yeon knew. His hands shook a little when he was nervous, but he never complained. Next was Sung-ho. He was shorter, strong, with a serious face. He carried a rifle and scanned the horizon all the time. He did not like risks, but he followed Ji-yeon anyway. Last came Shun-woo. He was old, maybe 65, with gray hair and kind eyes. He knew stories from the past. He walked slowly, but never fell behind. They were here because of old maps and whispers. Humans had lost so much in the wars. The big aliens, the Concord, said humans were gone, weak, finished. But Ji-yeon's family kept old songs and words. Her grandmother taught her a special lullaby in a language no one used anymore. It was soft, old Korean from before the stars took everything. Today they searched for something big. The shuttle landed near a large hole in the ground. Sensors showed metal deep below, lots of it. Maybe a ship, maybe a base. Ji-yeon hoped for both. They climbed down ropes into the dark. Lights from their helmets cut through the shadows. After a long walk through tunnels, they reached a huge open space. There it was. A giant ship lay half buried in the rock. Its black hull was longer than any building Ji-yeon had ever seen. Sharp lines, heavy guns, thick armor, everything about it said war. Letters on the side read Eternal Dawn. The name felt familiar, like something from her grandmother's stories. Taemin whistled softly. This is impossible. A dreadnought class. They said all of these were destroyed. Sung-ho held his rifle tighter. We should not stay long. Concord patrols come here sometimes. Hyun-woo touched the cold metal. Look at the symbols. Old human script. This ship slept here for centuries. Ji-yeon walked closer. She felt strange, like the ship was watching her. She pulled out a small scanner. It showed power, very faint, but still there. Something inside waited. She spoke quietly, almost to herself. It was the old lullaby her grandmother sang when she was small. 달빛 아래 잠든 우리, 별들이 비춰주는 밤. The words were soft and strange. No one in the team understood them fully. They were from a time before the fall, before aliens came and broke humanity. A low hum started. The ground shook a little. Lights along the hull blinked on, red, then blue, then steady white. Taemin stepped back. What did you do? Ji-yeon froze. I just sang. A crack appeared in the side of the ship. A door opened slowly. Dust fell like rain. Inside, a wide ramp came down. The team looked at each other. Sung-ho shook his head. This is bad. We go back now. But Ji-yeon felt pulled forward. She stepped onto the ramp. The others followed slowly. Inside the ship, everything was clean. No rust, no damage. Lights came on as they walked. The air smelled fresh, like machines had just started working again. They reached the bridge. It was huge. Chairs, screens, controls, all waiting. In the center stood a platform. A hologram appeared there. The figure was tall, dressed in old human combat armor. Helmet under one arm, chest plate shining. It looked like a soldier from long ago. Strong, proud. The hologram turned to Ji-Yon. It raised its hand in a sharp salute. Then it spoke. The voice was deep, clear, and calm. It used the same old language Ji-Yon had sung. "Orders received, General." The words hung in the air. Ji-Yon stared. Her heart beat fast. She did not know what to say. Taemin whispered. It talked back. In that language. Sung-Ho aimed his rifle at the hologram. "What is this thing?" Hyun-Woo put a hand on Sung-Ho's arm. "Lower the gun." It called her General. The hologram waited. It just stood there, saluting. Ji-Yon swallowed. She tried to remember more words. Her grandmother taught her a few commands too, simple ones. She spoke again, slow and careful. "Identify yourself." The hologram answered right away, still in the ancient tongue. "Sentinel Prime, AI Core of Dreadnought Eternal Dawn. Command authority confirmed. Genetic match, Park Ji-Yeon. Lineage trace, General Park Min-so, last registered commander. Awakening protocol complete." Ji-Yeon felt cold. Park Min-so. That was her great-great-grandmother's name. The story said she led the last fleet before everything went dark. "How?" Ji-Yeon asked, switching to common speech. "How do you know me?" The hologram switched languages smoothly. Voice pattern, DNA trace from skin cells on contact, linguistic marker. You carry the key. The long sleep ends today. Taemin looked around. The ship, it's powering up. Reactors at 30% and climbing. Shields online. Weapons, oh stars, weapons are hot. Sung-Ho lowered his rifle slowly. If this is real, then we just woke up the biggest gun in the galaxy. Ji-Yeon walked closer to the hologram. She looked up at the saluting figure. "You waited all this time?" "Affirmative. Mission, preserve human command structure. Await true successor. You are here. I am yours to command, General." The word general felt heavy. Ji-Yeon was just an archaeologist. She dug for old things. She told stories. She was not a leader of wars. But the ship did not care. It saluted again, sharp and perfect. Outside, far above, a Concorde scout ship passed in orbit. Its sensors caught the sudden energy spike. Alarms sounded on their bridge. "Anomaly on Karos 9, massive power signature, human design." The alien captain clicked its mandibles. "Humans? Impossible. Destroy whatever it is." Back inside the Eternal Dawn, Ji-Yeon took a deep breath. She looked at her team. Taemin nodded slowly. Sung-Ho looked worried, but ready. Hyun-Woo smiled, like he always knew this day would come. Ji-Yeon turned back to the hologram. "Sentinel Prime," she said, trying to sound strong. The AI waited. "Show me everything. What you remember. What happened to us?" The hologram lowered its salute. Screens around the bridge lit up. Old videos started. Fleets fighting, planets burning, humans standing against impossible odds. Ji-Yeon watched. Tears came to her eyes. Humanity never truly died. It just waited. And now, because she spoke old forgotten words, the waiting was over. The war relic stood ready. The bridge of the Eternal Dawn felt alive now. Lights glowed softly on every panel. The low hum of machines filled the air like a heartbeat. Ji-Yeon stood in the center, staring at the screens that covered the walls. Old videos played one after another. Ships fighting in black space. Explosions lighting up the dark. Humans in old uniforms running through burning halls. They did not run away. They ran toward the fight. Sentinel Prime stood as a hologram beside her. The saluting figure had not moved much since it first appeared. It waited, patient as stone. Taemin sat at one of the control stations. His fingers moved fast over the keys. He pulled data from the ship's memory banks. His eyes grew wide as he read. "This is more than a ship," he said quietly. "It has logs from the final days. The human apex war. They called it the long sleep. Hyun-woo leaned on his walking stick. He looked at the screens with wet eyes. The stories said the Concorde wiped us out. But look, one video showed a huge human fleet, hundreds of ships. They faced thousands of Concorde vessels, strange shapes like giant insects and sharp crystals. The humans fought hard. They used tricks. They hid in asteroid fields. They turned damaged ships into bombs. One by one, the Concorde ships broke apart. But the numbers were too many. In the end, the human commander, a woman with short hair and calm eyes, gave the last order. Activate long sleep protocol. Scatter the seeds. Sleep until we rise again. The fleet split. Some ships jumped away into deep space. Others landed on hidden worlds and shut down. The Eternal Dawn was one of them. It buried itself on Karos 9. Its AI waited for someone with the right blood and the right words. Ji-yeon touched the screen. The woman in the video looked a little like her grandmother. That was General Park Min-so, she whispered. My family. Pause. Sentinel Prime turned its head toward her. Correct, General. You carry her markers. The protocol is clear. Only a true descendant with command authority can wake the relics. Sung-ho stood near the door. He still held his rifle, but not pointed. So what now? The Concorde will come. They always do. As if the words called them, an alarm sounded. Red lights flashed. Taemin checked the sensors. 3 Concorde scout ships. Closing fast, they saw the power spike. Ji-yeon felt her stomach twist. She was not ready for this. She came here to find old things, not start a war. But the hologram waited. It looked at her with glowing eyes. Shall I engage, General? The question was simple. The answer felt huge. Ji-yeon looked at her team. Taemin nodded once. Hyun-woo gave a small smile. Sung-ho gripped his rifle tighter and said, If we run, they follow. If we fight, maybe we win. She took a breath. Her voice came out stronger than she felt. Yes, engage. Sentinel Prime saluted again. Orders received. The ship moved. Outside, the ground shook. The Eternal Dawn rose slowly from its grave. Dust and rock fell away like water. The black hull caught the weak sunlight. Engines roared deep and powerful. Shields snapped on, a blue shimmer around the whole ship. The Concorde scouts fired first. Thin green beams cut through the air. They hit the shields. Sparks flew, but the shields held. The dreadnought answered. Main guns turned. Bright white light built up at the tips. Then beams shot out, thick, hot, unstoppable. The first scout ship exploded in a ball of fire. The second tried to run. A missile from the Eternal Dawn chased it down and tore it apart. The third ship sent a fast message into space before a final shot ended it. Silence returned. Taemin stared at the screens. They are gone. In less than a minute. Sung-ho laughed once, short and surprised. I have never seen anything like that. Ji-yeon felt sick. She had given the order. People, aliens, died because of her words. But they came to kill first. She reminded herself of that. Hyun-woo put a hand on her shoulder. You did what you had to. The Concorde has hunted us for centuries. Now they know we are not gone. Sentinel Prime spoke again. Enemy transmission intercepted. They reported, human dreadnought active, possible resurgence, recommend full fleet response. Ji-yeon closed her eyes for a second. They will send more. Many more. Yes, the AI said, but we are not alone. The long sleep placed many relics, ships, factories, forts, all waiting for your voice. She opened her eyes. Show me. New maps appeared on the screens. Red dots across the galaxy, hidden places, an ice world with a factory that could build fighters, a nebula with sleeper pods full of frozen humans, an old orbital station with guns that could crack moons. Taemin pointed. We can reach the closest one in 3 days, if we move now. Jian looked at the hologram. Sentinel Prime, set course for the ice world. Maximum speed. Course laid in. Engines at full. Estimated arrival, 72 standard hours. The ship turned in space. Stars slid across the view screens. The eternal dawn flew fast and quiet. Jian sat in the command chair. It felt too big. She looked at her hands. They were shaking a little. Hyun-woo sat beside her. Your grandmother told me once. She said the old words were dangerous. They carried power. She was right. Jian smiled weakly. I thought they were just songs to help me sleep. Sung-ho walked over. You are not just an archaeologist anymore. You are the general now, whether you like it or not. I know. Taemin came up from his station. The AI let me look deeper. There are upgrades we can do. The shuttle we came in, it can be rebuilt, made faster, stronger. I can start now if you want. Do it, Jian said. Hours passed. The team worked. Taemin and Sentinel Prime talked in technical words Jian did not fully understand. Sung-ho checked weapons and practiced with the ship's small security drones. Hyun-woo read old logs and taught Jian more of the ancient language. Simple commands, ways to ask for status, ways to give orders clearly. She practiced in front of the hologram. Status report. Shields at 100%. Weapons charged. Crew, 4 active humans. All systems green. She tried another. Prepare for combat. Combat stations ready. All batteries online. Each time, the AI saluted. Sharp, perfect. Jian felt the weight grow, but she also felt something else, or hope. Far away, in Concord space, alarms rang on many ships. Commanders gathered. They looked at the report from Karos 9. A human dreadnought, active, destroying scouts like insects. One commander, a tall insect with clicking jaws, spoke. This cannot stand. Send the Third Fleet. Crush it before it grows. They did not know yet. The woman who woke the ship carried more than a voice. She carried the memory of a species that refused to die. On the eternal dawn, Ji-yen stood at the front viewport. Stars moved past in long lines. She spoke softly, in the old tongue. We are coming home. Sentinel Prime appeared beside her. It saluted once more. Orders received, General. The ship flew on. The galaxy would soon remember why humans were feared. The eternal dawn cut through empty space like a black arrow. 3 days passed since they left Karos 9. The ice world was close now. Sensors showed it ahead, a small frozen ball covered in white storms. No lights, no ships, just cold silence. Jian spent most of the time on the bridge. She practiced the old language with Hyun-woo. He taught her new words every hour. Ready weapons, launch fighters, raise shields. Each time she said them, Sentinel Prime answered the same way. Orders received, General. She still felt strange hearing it. The title did not fit her yet. But the ship listened. That was enough for now. Taemin worked without rest. He took their old shuttle into one of the Eternal Dawn's repair bays. The bay was huge, full of robot arms and glowing tools. He used the ship's systems to rebuild the shuttle. He made it faster. He added stealth paint. He gave it small guns and better engines. When he finished, the shuttle looked new, sharp and dangerous. Sung-ho trained in the empty halls. He ran drills with the ship's security drones. The drones were small, fast, and armed with stun shots. He taught them to follow human orders. He also checked the main guns again and again. He wanted no mistakes when the Concorde came. Hyun-woo read more logs. He found names of other relics, places where humans hid. He marked them on the big map. There are dozens, he told Ji-yeon, maybe hundreds, all waiting for you. Ji-yeon looked at the map. red dots everywhere, some far, some close. She felt small against so many secrets. The ship slowed. They entered orbit around the ice world. Sensors scanned deep. Under thick ice, something big waited. A factory, old human design. It slept, but its power core still had a tiny spark. "We need to go down," Jian said. Sung-ho frowned. "Storms are bad, visibility 0, and if the Concorde followed us, they will come soon," Sentinel Prime said. "Long-range scans show a Concorde scout group moving this way. 8 hours until they arrive." Jian nodded. "Then we move fast." They took the rebuilt shuttle. Taemin flew it. Jian sat in the front seat. Sung-ho and Hyunwoo in the back, with gear, drills, lights, weapons. The shuttle dropped through the clouds. Wind howled. Snow hit the windows hard. Taemin kept the ship steady. They landed near a hidden entrance, a large metal door under the ice. Taemin used the shuttle's laser to cut the ice away. The door appeared, old but strong. Jian stepped out first. Cold bit her face even through her suit. She spoke the old words at the door. "Awaken. Command authority, Park Jian." Lights blinked on the door. A hum started. The door slid open slowly. Warm air came out, strange in the cold. Inside was a long tunnel. Lights came on as they walked. At the end, a huge room opened up. Machines stood everywhere. Long arms for building, ovens for metal, lines for fighters and drones. Everything waited, covered in frost, but ready. In the center stood another hologram platform. A new figure appeared, smaller than Sentinel Prime, but similar. It wore worker armor. It saluted Jian. "Factory Core Alpha online. Orders received, General." Jian smiled for the first time in days. "Start production. Small fighters, stealth type, as many as you can in the next 6 hours." Production initiated. Estimated output 12 units. The machines woke up. Arms moved. Sparks flew. Metal sang. The factory came alive. Back on the Eternal Dawn, alarms sounded again. Sentinel Prime spoke over the comms. "Concorde ships entering system. 12 vessels. Mix of cruisers and fighters. They are scanning for us." Jian looked at her team in the factory. "We need to get back up. Now." Outside, the storm grew worse. They lifted off, just as green beams lit the sky. Concorde ships had found them. Taemin pushed the new engines hard. The shuttle dodged between ice spikes. A Concorde fighter chased them. Sung-ho fired the small guns. One shot hit. The fighter spun and crashed into the snow. They reached the Eternal Dawn. The big ship opened its bay doors. The shuttle flew inside. The doors closed fast. Jian ran to the bridge. Screens showed the Concorde fleet closing in. 12 ships, big and small. They formed a line, weapons charged. Sentinel Prime waited. "Engage?" Jian took her seat. "Not yet. Let them come closer." The Concorde commander broadcast a message. The voice was cold, clicking. "Human Relic, you are in violation of Concorde law. Surrender or be destroyed." Jian looked at the team. They all nodded. She spoke clearly. "Sentinel Prime, target the lead cruiser. Fire when ready." Orders received. The dreadnought's main guns lit up. A thick beam shot out. It hit the lead cruiser in the center. The ship broke in half. Fire bloomed in the dark. The other Concorde ships fired back. Beams and missiles hit the shields. The Eternal Dawn shook, but the shields held strong. Jian gave more orders. "Launch the new fighters." From the ice world below, 12 small stealth fighters rose. They moved fast and quiet. They attacked the Concorde from behind. Small explosions flashed. 2 Concorde ships went dark. The battle lasted 10 minutes. The Concorde fleet lost 6 ships. The rest turned and ran. They jumped away into hyperspace. Jian breathed out. Her hands shook. Taemin cheered quietly. "We won." Sung-ho smiled. First real fight, and we won. Hyunwoo looked serious. This is only the start. Word will spread now. They will send bigger fleets. But something changed inside her. She felt stronger. She turned to Sentinel Prime. Find the next relic. The sleeper colony in the nebula. Coordinates locked. Course set. The ship turned again. Stars blurred. Days later, they reached the nebula. Thick gas clouds hid everything. Inside, hidden pods waited. Thousands of frozen humans from the old wars. The colony AI woke when Jian spoke the words. Pods opened. People stepped out, weak at first, then stronger. They looked at Jian with wide eyes. One man, old but tall, walked forward. You woke us. You speak the old tongue. Jian nodded. I am Jian, and I need your help. The man saluted. We waited for this day. Tell us what to do, General. More came. Fighters, engineers, doctors, families. They joined the eternal dawn. The ship grew full of voices and footsteps. Jian stood on the bridge. She looked at the new people, working beside her team. Tae-min taught them the controls. Sung-ho trained them with weapons. Hyunwoo told them the old stories. She spoke to Sentinel Prime alone. How many more relics? Enough to build an armada, if you call them. Jian smiled small. Then let's call them. She opened a channel. She spoke in the ancient language across every open frequency. Her voice carried far. This is General Park Jian. To all dormant units, awaken. The time is now. Humanity remembers. Across the stars, lights blinked on. Factories hummed. Ships rose from graves. Forts powered up. The Concorde heard the message too. Panic spread in their halls. On the eternal dawn, Jian looked out at the stars. They were no longer hiding. They were coming back. And the galaxy would never forget them again. The nebula clouds glowed soft purple and blue. The eternal dawn floated inside them like a shadow. More ships joined every day. Old human fighters rose from hidden bays. Small corvettes woke from asteroid graves. Even a few big cruisers answered the call. They came one by one, answering Jian's voice in the ancient language. The bridge felt crowded now. New people worked at stations. Some wore old uniforms from the sleep pods. Others had patched clothes from hidden colonies. All of them looked at Jian with respect. They called her General without hesitation. Jian stood at the main view screen. She watched the growing fleet form up around the dreadnought. 50 ships now. Maybe more soon. But the Concorde had heard the message too. Their spies caught the broadcast. Their commanders met in secret rooms. They decided this could not continue. A Concorde armada gathered at the edge of the Orion Arm. Thousands of ships. Insect cruisers with sharp legs. Crystal battleships that shone like stars. Reptile carriers full of small attack craft. They called it the Hammer Fleet. Their goal was simple. Find the human ships and crush them before the uprising grew too big. Scouts brought the news to the eternal dawn. Tae-min showed the data on the big map. They are coming here, he said. Full strength. They want to end it in one battle. Sung-ho crossed his arms. Then we fight here. In the nebula. The clouds will hide us. We can strike from cover. Hyunwoo nodded slowly. The old fleets used nebulae before. Good place for tricks. Jian looked at the map. Red enemy dots moved closer. Blue human dots stayed in place. She felt the weight again. So many lives now depended on her words. She turned to Sentinel Prime. The hologram stood tall beside her. Prepare the fleet for battle, she said. We meet them at the Forgotten Stars. That is the name of this system now. Orders received, General. Fleet-wide broadcast prepared. All ships report ready. Jian opened the channel. She spoke in the old language first, then switched to common speech, so everyone understood. "This is General Park Jian. The Concord comes to end us. We will not run. We will not hide. We fight today for every human who waited, for every world they took, for the future we build. Hold the line. Fight smart. Come home alive if you can." Cheers came from every ship. The sound filled the bridge. The Hammer Fleet arrived at the edge of the nebula. Their sensors swept the clouds, but found nothing clear. The human ships stayed dark and quiet. No signals, no movement. The Concord commander, a tall crystal being named Vexstar, stood on his flagship bridge. He clicked his fingers against his arm. "Humans are weak, ghosts from the past. Push in, burn the nebula if needed." Lines of ships entered the clouds, weapons ready. Then the trap sprang. Small stealth fighters, built on the ice world, darted out first. They fired quick shots and vanished again. Concord frigates exploded in surprise. Alarms screamed across their lines. Next came the human corvettes. They used the gas clouds like walls. They appeared, fired torpedoes, then disappeared. One Concord carrier lost half its fighters before it could launch. Vexstar ordered full advance. "Do not fear shadows. Press on." The main human fleet moved then. The Eternal Dawn led. Its black hull cut through the purple mist. Guns roared. Thick beams sliced through two Concord cruisers at once. Shields flared bright. Jian gave orders fast. "Left flank, hit their carriers. Right flank, cover the fighters. Sentinel Prime, target the flagship." Orders received. The dreadnought turned. Its biggest gun charged. A white-hot beam lanced out. It struck Vexstar's flagship in the bow. Armor cracked. Fire bloomed inside. Concord ships fired back. Missiles rained on the human line. One small human corvette took a direct hit and broke apart. Jian saw it on the screen. Her stomach turned. Those were her people. Sung Ho led a boarding team on a captured Concord frigate. He and his drones moved through the halls. They fought hand to hand. He took down guards with calm shots. His team planted charges and escaped before the ship blew. Taemin worked from the Eternal Dawn's engineering bay. He rerouted power to shields when they dropped. He fixed damaged guns in minutes. He kept the ship alive. Hyun-woo stayed on the bridge. He spoke to the old captains on other ships. He told them moves from ancient battles. Flank like General Park Min-seo did at Vega. Hit and fade. The battle turned slow and hard. Ships died on both sides. The nebula filled with fire and debris. Human ingenuity showed. Pilots used wrecked Concord hulls as cover. Engineers on small ships made quick repairs in the middle of fights. Fighters danced between beams like birds. Jian watched it all. She spoke orders without pause. "Evasive now. Target their engines. Launch drones." Each time, Sentinel Prime echoed, "Orders received." The Concord line began to break. Their big ships pulled back. Smaller ones tried to cover them. But the humans pressed harder. Jian saw her chance. Fleet-wide, all ships focus fire on the flagship. End this. Every human ship turned. Beams, missiles, rail shots all hit Vexstar's ship at once. The crystal hull shattered. The flagship exploded in a bright flash. The shockwave pushed ships away. The remaining Concord vessels hesitated. Then they ran. Engines flared. They jumped out of the nebula. The Hammer Fleet broke. Silence fell on the bridge. Smoke drifted in space. Wreckage floated everywhere. Jian sat down. Her legs felt weak. Taemin reported first. "We lost 12 ships. Heavy damage on many more. But we hold the field." Sung Ho came back from his boarding run. His suit was burned in places. He grinned. "We took prisoners. They are talking already. They say the Concord never expected this." Hyun-woo looked out at the stars. The galaxy will hear of this day, the Battle of Forgotten Stars. Jian stood again. She walked to the viewport. The nebula still glowed, but now it felt different, brighter. She spoke to Sentinel Prime. Send a message. To every Concord world, to every human colony. The war is not over, but we are here, we remember, and we will not stop. The AI saluted. Message prepared. Transmitting. Jian looked at her team. Taemin, Sungho, Hyunwoo, the new people around them. All tired, all alive. She spoke softly, in the old tongue. We did it. Sentinel Prime answered the same way. Orders received, General. Victory. The fleet gathered again. Repairs started. Wounded received care. Plans formed for the next move. The Concord had lost a battle, but humans had won something bigger. They had shown the stars they were back, and they would keep coming. The Battle of Forgotten Stars ended in fire and silence. Wreckage drifted through the nebula like broken stars. The human fleet gathered what they could: salvage, escape pods, prisoners who wanted to talk. The Concord Hammer fleet was gone. Only a few damaged ships limped away into deep space. Jian stood on the bridge of the Eternal Dawn. She looked tired. Her eyes had dark circles. Her hands rested on the command rail. Around her, people worked quietly. They repaired small damages. They counted the living. They mourned the lost. Taemin came up beside her. His suit was dirty with oil and sweat. We lost 23 ships total, over 400 people, but we took out more than twice that from them. Jian nodded slowly. Every name will be remembered. Sungho walked in. He carried a datapad. Prisoners say the Concord is in shock. Their leaders argue. Some want peace talks. Others want revenge. But right now, they are pulling back from human border worlds. Hyunwoo sat in a chair nearby. He looked older than before, but his eyes shone. The message is spreading. Hidden colonies hear it. Sleepers wake on their own. They send word. We are coming. Jian turned to the main screen. It showed the fleet, bigger now. Over 100 ships. Some old relics, scarred and strong. Some new, built fast in hidden factories. Fighters patrolled in tight groups. The humans were no longer a small group. They were a force. She spoke to Sentinel Prime. The hologram appeared beside her, still in its perfect armor. Status of the network? All dormant units responding. Factories at full output. Sleeper colonies opening. Estimated new ships in the next month, 300. Ground forces mobilizing on reclaimed worlds. Jian took a deep breath. Take us to Sol, the old home. The AI saluted. Jump in 10 minutes. The fleet moved as one. Engines glowed. Space folded. They jumped. When they came out, the Sol system looked different from the old stories. The sun was the same, warm yellow. But Earth was quiet. No cities lit the night side. The moon had old bases, half broken. Mars showed green patches where humans once tried to live. The asteroid belt held silent forts. Jian felt something tight in her chest. This was home. The place her family came from long ago. The place humanity lost. Sensors pinged. Small Concord patrols still watched the system. They had claimed it as a trophy world. Empty, dead, a warning. Jian opened a channel. She spoke in the ancient language, clear and strong. To all Concord forces in Sol, leave now. This system belongs to humanity again. You have 1 hour. The patrols did not answer with words. They fired warning shots. Green beams cut across space. They chose. She gave the order. Fleet, engage. Clear the system. The battle was short. Human ships moved like wolves. They came from many sides. Stealth fighters struck first. Big guns from the Eternal Dawn finished the job. Concord ships broke and ran. Some surrendered. Their crews were taken as prisoners. When the last enemy ship jumped away, silence returned to Sol. Gion ordered landing teams to Earth. They found old cities under dust, ruins of towers, broken roads, but also seeds, human seeds planted long ago. Small plants grew in cracks. Animals moved in the wild again. People from the fleet went down. They walked the ground. Some cried, some laughed. They touched the soil. They promised to rebuild. Weeks turned to months. Humans spread out. They woke more sleepers. They started farms on Earth. They fixed old stations around the moon. They built new ships in the belt. Gion stayed on the Eternal Dawn most days. She talked to leaders from other colonies. She planned. She listened. One day a message came from deep space. A Concord delegation wanted to meet. Neutral ground. No weapons. Gion agreed. They met on a small station in empty space. The Concord sent 3 beings, 1 insect, 1 crystal, 1 reptile. They looked nervous. Gion came with Taemin, Sungho, and Hyunwoo. Sentinel Prime projected beside her as a hologram. The insect spoke first. "We wish to discuss terms. Your resurgence is unexpected." Gion looked at them calmly. "You hunted us. You said we were finished. We were never finished. We waited." The crystal being clicked softly. "We offer peace. Borders redrawn. Trade. No more war." Gion thought for a long time. "Peace, yes, but on our terms. Return all human prisoners. Leave our old worlds. No more hunting. And tell your people the truth. Humans do not forget." The delegation agreed. They signed a simple treaty. Hands shook, strange claws, and human skin. When they left, Gion stood alone with Sentinel Prime. "It is over," she said. The hologram looked at her. "The war is over. The mission continues. Humanity endures." Gion smiled small. "Stand down, old friend. No more orders today." Sentinel Prime paused. Then it saluted. Slow, deep. The deepest salute she had ever seen. "Orders received, General. Mission complete." The hologram flickered. It faded slowly. The armor stayed visible a moment longer, then disappeared. Gion felt something leave the air. The ship was still strong. The AI was still there. But the old soldier had finished its watch. She walked to the viewport. Earth turned below, blue and green again in places. Ships moved around it, like guardians. New lights shone on the dark side. Homes being built. Taemin found her there. "What now, General?" Gion looked at him. "Now we live. We grow. We remember." Sung-ho joined them. "And if anyone comes again?" Hyun-woo came last. He put a hand on her shoulder. "Then we answer, like always." Gion spoke softly, in the old tongue. "We are home." The stars outside stayed quiet. But now they belonged to those who never forgot. Humanity had slept long enough. They woke, they fought, they won. And in the quiet after the storm, a new story began. One of building, of hope, of a species that refused to die. The war relic had saluted one last time. The general had led them home.